What's up, guys? Welcome back to the channel. Welcome back to the Bianconeri Zone. The day after we reach the Coppa Italia final, which is always a goal, or like the minimum you aim for. The Coppa Italia final, you aim to win it, but you need to get there first, and we got there. But it doesn't mean anything if you don't win it. But I think the win got overshadowed with what Giuntoli had to say pre-game, and it's about VAR, which I absolutely dislike. And you might say, why is Allegri not on the thumbnail? Because I will give him credit in a second, because what Giuntoli had to say on VAR, blaming VAR, is something I actually do not want to hear in this moment, in this context, and I will explain why. But before we do that, hit the like button, subscribe to the channel, and let's go. Okay, so first, because I'm not sure if everybody saw what Giuntoli had to say pre-game, he talked about the moment, and he was asked about, you're in a weird spot. How does it come that you're in this situation? And he said a couple of things, but what he also said was that, yeah, I don't like to talk about it. He said, but VAR in certain moments is not helping. We're the only team, or like Juve is the only team VAR goes back to check things. And I was like, no, 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 no. You cannot say this. I've said it so many times. It's pointless to talk about referees when the club does not immediately react after something controversial happens. If they wait, it's pointless for us to stress about it. If they don't want to talk about it, we should not take it into account to assess the season or that game, in my opinion. You might now say, oh, they did what you asked. No, he spoke about it now when we were in a sticky situation. And it sounds like an excuse. It doesn't come across as, oh, it's really a problem. Because if it were a problem, you let it be known post-game or in the same week or the day after, not weeks, months after that, in a crucial game before the Coppa Italia, in a Coppa Italia semi-final, in a crucial moment of the season. I don't like that. And I put Allegri on the thumbnail because I do give him credit for that. I've said it so many times. I don't like that he doesn't take blame, ownership. However, he never comes out and he says it's the ref. He doesn't speak about the refs, which I do like. I absolutely do like, because it's the club who needs to speak on these things, not the coach, not the players, in my opinion. It's the club that needs to make a statement, because if the players and coach do that, they will get suspended, fined, whatever. It will happen. So it's on the club to make clear statements. And if you have a problem with VAR, you do that post whatever game it was, whatever. You don't wait weeks, months, and then come out and say, you know what, VAR, it's weird. It only happens to us. I'm like, I don't want to hear it now. Like, I don't want to hear it. It's the end of the season, and it sounds weak. It sounds something very far-fetched, reach. It feels like, yeah, we had an issue weeks ago, but we didn't believe we would be in this situation, so let me use this as a quote-unquote excuse. And I'm not saying it's not true, because we all came out and we said at times, and that's a horrible decision. But in the big picture, it does not impact our season. It really doesn't. We have impacted our season. We have 4 wins. No, let me check, because I don't want to lie. I think we have 4 wins out of the last 15 games. I'm pretty sure we have 4 wins out of the last 15 games. I'm actually lying. We have 3 wins out of the last 14 games and 5 losses. Like, we lost again against Lazio. We had enough with the loss. We just needed 1 goal in this situation, but we lost again. Like 3 out of 14 with 5 defeats in between. Like, that's shocking. That's not VAR. That's not that. That's coaching and players. That's why we're in this situation. Because against Lazio, again, players look lost. They look lost. Weird decisions to start the game. Yes, the subs help for once. About time, that the subs really had an impact. But they had an impact. But other than that, we look, again, it feels like, I keep saying it, it's a 9 to 5. That's what it is. And players like, oh man, we need to go to work again. That's how they play. Do I think these players are world class? No. Do I think they're good enough? I would sell a load of them. Like, I really would. I'm not gonna lie. But they're not this poor. Like, it should be looking better. It should be looking more convincing, and this looks like We're scraping it for months. We're going through the motion, and it feels like we are a team fighting relegation and just picking up points here and there and just be happy with it. That's like we have a relegation form just above relegation form. It's close, but it's not good enough. So I don't want to hear a month before the season ends, basically. It lasts because the 15th of May is a Coppa Italia final. So let's say a month before the season ends. I don't want to hear, oh, the VAR is not helping us. If the VAR was an issue, you speak up weeks in the week or the post game that it happens. Not at this moment in time. It's weak, and I don't like that. But I do give Allegri credit for that because he never does that. He just takes the result. He doesn't take the blame. He likes to throw players a bit under the bus, whatever. Makes a lot of excuses, but he doesn't come out and he said the referee, because I think he knows that if there is an issue with the referee, you discuss it with the club, and the club makes a statement. Do not let players get involved or coaching, because they cannot say anything, which is ridiculous because the coach and players are allowed to say something about the referee's performance between them. Like, it needs to be polite. But they're not. We know how this works. If you do, you get suspended and all those things. Like, it can happen. So it's the club's duty to speak up. That's all I'm saying. You know, other than that, whatever Giuntoli had to say about, we will sit down with Allegri and talk about transfer targets. If you watch that Lazio game and you had any slight doubt that maybe he can stay on, he cannot stay on. Like, that was, again, horrible. Like, the mindset going into the game. We play with fear. And Pirin came out saying... we knew we were going to suffer. We are good at suffering. We shouldn't be good at suffering. Like, we suffer against teams that are not better than us. They shouldn't be better than us, but we suffer against those teams. That's an issue. That's not something to be proud of. That's not a positive. That's only a positive if that happens 2-3 times a season. You grind it out and you come out of the game, you're like, man, we shouldn't be winning that game, but that's real winner's mentality. We found a way to win a game that it doesn't really matter, you know? And we do that often, but we also do not often, and that's why we're in this situation. So suffering is not a good thing if it happens every single week, and if it happens against poorer sides, like worse sides. So that being said, again, like we reach a Coppa Italia final, which is good. We keep it going, and hopefully you win that, whoever you play, is it Fiorentina or if it's Atalanta, we will see tonight. But yeah, that's just the bare minimum. With Inter out of it and Milan out of it, you just need to win it. Like, there's no ifs and buts. You just need to win it. And how? That's a worry for the 15th of May. That's not something to worry about right now. I don't want to think about it. We just need to focus on Milan, not on refereeing and all those things. We just need to focus on Milan, and we just need to beat Milan, because that's a massive, massive game. That's a massive game. But yeah, people, let me know in the comments what you think of Giuntoli's comments, and I will speak to you guys later tonight on a live show. Ciao.